Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and Boromir, the eldest son of Denethor, the current steward of Gondor. The Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, visual companion, in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Video Gamers Oasis on YouTube presents podcast mini-series, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, visual companion, my reading and commentary. Hello again, welcome back to my podcast mini-series, Video Gamers Oasis presents The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, visual companion. We've been reading this book, very beautifully illustrated book based on Peter Jackson's classic, in my opinion, one of the last great movies of the early 2000s, The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings. This is a visual companion, a beautifully illustrated book, and we've been studying about men. Again, we're talking about humanity in Middle-earth, the race of humans in the fantasy world of The Lord of the Rings. And we've already had an introduction to the race of men and their story, and Gondor. We learned about the battle between Isildur and Sauron, and the tragic hero Isildur, who was the prince who defeated Sauron but kept the ring to himself and paid dearly for that. And we learned about Bree, the little tavern, and the funny little bartender that I now remembered. His name was Barlaman Butterbur. That was the bartender in that little village. The Prancing Pony is the name of the tavern. Now we're moved on to two more chapters we're going to study. Two more sections. We're going to learn in the world of men. We'll learn about Aragorn on page 27 and Boromir. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I apologize if I didn't pronounce it correctly before. It's Boromir on page 28 and 29. Let's begin with our reading. Pardon me, I'm going to sneeze. And we're going to study Aragorn on page 27. First of all, let's turn on the light here. A little bit of illumination would help. I've added a little bit more light. I decided not to put the spotlight this time. Now, here's a photograph of the legendary Aragorn. And the name of the actor is included in the photograph. He's a great, noble, handsome hero, if I could say that safely, you know. But he's obviously a warrior kind of class of character with a sword, leather armor, cape, and we're going to learn more about this character. One of my reading glasses to help you to focus better, and here is my magnifying glass to focus on words better. Aragorn, page 27. One of them rangers, dangerous folk they are, wandering the wilds. First paragraph. A tall, weather-beaten man with watchful eyes, well-armed and wrapped in travel-stained clothes, is encountered by the hobbits in the Prancing Pony, the inn at Bree. Barlaman Butterbur, the innkeeper, informs him that the man is called Strider, and that he is a ranger, one of the wandering northern men who walk about on their long shanks, turning up from time to time when folk least expect to see them. The next paragraph to the left. Strider has a dark and dangerous look to him, but he is far more than he at first appears. In evil times, disguise and subterfuge are necessary to ward off the enemy's eye, and Strider is soon revealed to be a close ally of Gandalf the Grey, and more besides, ... Next paragraph. The mysterious Strider has the noblest of heritages, for his true name is Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and he is chief of the Duindain, Dundain, with an apostrophe U, the last remnant in the north of the ancient race of men, and although yet he wears no crown, he is a descendant of the High Kings, the heir to Isildur of Gondor. As a token of his heritage, he bears two ancient and powerful heirlooms, the broken hilt of Narsil, with which Isildur cut the one ring from Sauron's hand, and the ring of Barad-shûr, a ring fashioned in the form of twin serpents with emeralds for eyes, their heads meeting beneath golden flowers, which one devours and the other upholds. Next paragraph. Orphaned as a child, Aragorn has been raised in the house of Elrond, half-elven in Rivendell, and has long loved Elrond's daughter, the beautiful Arwen Evenstar. But she is of the long-lived elven race, and he a mortal man, and their future together requires that a terrible choice be made. Next paragraph to the right, second column. Destiny weighs heavily upon Aragorn as a member of the Fellowship of the Ring, pledged to the service of the Ring Bearer. A long quest and a great war lie ahead of him, upon which the future of the free peoples of Middle-earth depends. Aragorn, son of Arathorn, has a crucial and unenviable duty to fulfill in both before he can even begin to consider his own concerns. So there's a photograph in the background of the legendary sword, the broken hilt of Narsil, and in the corner is a photograph of Strider, the disguise of Aragorn. He has a nice pipe weed. He's smoking. I think he's in the bar of Barliman Butterbur in the Prancing Pony with a hood on. And there he meets he appears for the first time. I believe the two hobbits meet him in the beginning. Yeah, the hobbits, Frodo and Samwise meet him for the first time. And he is the legendary heir to the throne, Aragorn. That's quite an awesome character. It's one of my favorite characters in Lord of the Rings. He's a very pure-hearted warrior. Probably one of the most pure-hearted warriors in fiction today. Moving on to the next subheading chapter, we're going to learn about Boromir on page 28. And again, here's a photograph of him. He is played by Sean Bean. This time I remembered his name. Excuse me. Dressed in a very regal black attire, black leather armor, and he's got a leather sword strap and a cape on. Long brownish blonde hair and a goatee. Anyways. Page 28 now. Boromir. Introduction reads, the quotation reads, Gondor has no king. Gondor does not need a king. I think that's a quotation. Perhaps he said, I can't remember. Next paragraph. Boromir is the eldest son of Denethor, the current steward of Gondor, who holds the high seat of Minas Tirith, the capital city of Gondor. Since the fall of Isildur, son of Elendil, at the Gladden Fields, the Gondorians have taken no king, instead appointing a noble steward to govern the country until the day when the legendary heir of Isildur may return to claim his throne. Indeed, they have been kingless for so long now that there is no longer any expectation that such a man may exist. Next quotation reads, "In a dream I saw the eastern sky grow dark, but in the west a pale light lingered. A voice was crying, quote unquote, 'Your doom is at hand. Isildur's bane is found.'" Quite a dark dream, very scary dream. Next paragraph, prophecy of doom. Next paragraph, Boromir has traveled north to Rivendell to seek the meaning of a recurrent dream which told of the waking of Isildur's bane, the thing that caused the High King's death. He will learn in Rivendell that this is the one ring now in the possession of Frodo Baggins. Gondor lies closest of all the kingdoms of Middle-earth to the shadow. The dark peaks of Mordor are clearly visible from the battlements of Minas Tirith, and Gondorian warriors have perpetually had to fight off incursions of orcs and other of the Dark Lord's fell creatures. Like the ancient king Isildur, Boromir can also see a use for the One Ring in the defense of his people. Yet, when the dark, disheveled man known as Strider is revealed in Rivendell to be Aragorn, son of Arathorn, the last chief of the Dúnedain, and heir to the Gondorian kingdom, Boromir is not fully convinced that he is indeed the man destined to reunite the ancient kingdoms and lead them into a new age. And here is a photograph from the movie of Boromir, with a sword in one hand and a trumpet or a horn in the other. He's blowing the horn. And here's Boromir again. Nice handsome portrait on page 29. Paragraph below that photograph reads, "Despite all his doubts, he still offers his services to the ring bearer to aid him in his quest, and becomes a valiant member of the Fellowship of the Ring. Boromir bears with him a great sword, his shield, and the horn of a wild ox, bound with silver and inscribed with ancient letters. It is told that if this horn is blown in dire need anywhere within the boundaries of Gondor, help shall at once be sent to he who blows it. But when Boromir is hard pressed by orcs as the Fellowship travels south, he may be too far beyond the bounds of his homeland for help to arrive in time." That is quite a sad thing that happens. If you've seen the movie, spoiler, it's a very tragic ending for Boromir. But again, you have to see the movie. I'm not going to reveal everything. But there you have it, folks. That was Boromir from Men on page 28 and 29. And we learned about Aragorn, the noble king-to-be, on page 26 and 27. Tune in next time. We're going to study a new chapter, chapter 3 from the three peoples of Middle-earth, and we're going to learn about the elves. We're going to study in depth all the interesting characters that are in the elven race. This has been the reading of The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, Visual Companion by Jude Fisher. I'm Jeremy from Video Gamers Oasis. Thanks so much for tuning into my weekly podcast. Send some likes and loves. Subscribe to Video Gamers Oasis for more updates. And thanks for watching. Have a great rest of October 2024. This is October 20th, 2024 on a Sunday afternoon. I thank you for your attention and have a great evening. Bye for now.